Hey everyone, I'm back for another analysis of Nongshim RedForce's Valorant team. Albeit much earlier than I expected since the Santiago incident happened. To quickly summarize my previous analysis on Nongshim. Nongshim RedForce are the 2024 VCT Ascension Pacific winners, with 5 rookies and eventually 1 UNC. They had a very respectable year given that Pacific is the best region in Valorant, becoming a middle-of-the-pack, dark horse team that ended the year with a record of 6-7. In my previous video, I neglected to mention something that would eventually become a key piece to NS's victory. And that is X-Ross, a Yoru one trick from the previous Nongshim roster before they bought out Sinprisa Gaming in 2024. Despite Nongshim having a brand spanking new roster, X-Ross remained with the org. However, if you look at his match history, he didn't play a game for the entire 2025 VCT season until Ascension in October. So why is that? It turns out SPG advised Nongshim to keep X-Ross signed, as he would be a great talent in the future when he would be eligible to play in Tier 1. Nongshim saw the value in him as well, so they kept him signed. Because I'm in a bit of a rush to meet a deadline, I'll quickly go over Ascension and the off-season. We head to beautiful Thailand for Ascension 2025. As both Boom and Nongshim were relegated from VCT Pacific, there would be 2 slots up for grabs to ascend and join the Tier 1 franchising league. Nongshim would advance past their group despite of a shock upset against majority Filipino team Nows. Somehow the bar is in hell, and they were doing limbo. They would start in the lower bracket due to tiebreaker rules as the 3rd seed of their group. They would go on to defend their slot in VCT, only dropping 1 map in playoffs in a heartbreaking 3-1 win in the qualification game versus Boom. Now you might be wondering, Nongshim have 6 players signed? So who's gonna play? Well, that would be X-Ross replacing Persia. You might also remember that I said X-Ross is a Yoru one trick, and Persia is the main smokes player. Yep, we're having X-Ross move over to main Omen players. Also a bit of foreshadowing. I have no clue what they were cooking on Abyss. But they played it once in a close 11-13 loss against Full Sense, with Dambi on Astra.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And then didn't play it again for the rest of the tournament. Afterwards, Nongshim play an off-season tournament with a weird format, but nonetheless notching wins over Heretics, Wolves, Heretics again, and a revenge win against DRX to win the whole thing. Also, Yeoman returns to Nongshim as an assistant coach. Okay, now we're in the actual season, with Dambi as the entry with Neon sliding around with Judges and Odin. Francis playing Yoru and taking over as the main AWPer and Rotator. And a weird rifling core with RB as IGL, playing primarily smoke agents, Ivy being the main Sentinel player, but also swapping to more lurking or global smokes agents like Astra and Viper, and X-Ross playing Scan Initiator. Yeah, the roles kinda check out. This is actually cooking. But there's no more time for that. It's time for the first game of the season to kick off the start of 2026. It's the defending Ascension team, Nongshim versus Team Secret. Yeah, you know how this goes. The bar is in hell, a clean 2-0. At least we know Nongshim remembers how to play against Filipinos. Next up is a revenge match against the team that ended their season last year. T1. But this is not just any T1, this is the ultimate Korean super team. After failing to make playoffs at Champs, T1 demote their academy player DH and sign Masters winning IGL and the terrorist who invented the Haven A to be wall, Munchkin. This is the super team to end all super teams, taking the best parts of every other Korean team that has come before them. The vision strikers of Buzz and Stax, the Youngblood Izu, the Meteor himself, and the man that led Pacific to their first ever international title. Millions of dollars are going up against some friends who played soccer together, a fetus who's never played Tier 1 before, and the guy who got kicked from Buzz and Stax's former team. Our heroes lose map 1 with the last round being a 4v2 loss. But it doesn't matter. Nongshim immediately bounced back with a 13-4 win on Haven and 13-9 on Corrode, moving forward 2-1. Next up is a familiar team, but with a different look. Full Sense are the new team repped by the former Thai players from Tallinn. Now, I would love to say that Nongshim and Tallinn had an intense rivalry with games going down to the wire. But it was nowhere near. Nongshim were 0-4 in series last year to the core of Tallinn, now Full Sense. Will the lost streak continue with a new look Full Sense? Turns out Dambi is crazy. A whopping 256 ACS and a clean 150 ADR power them to a 2-0 win over the Thai team. Now Nongshim are facing up against Hello. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh my god, you're right. Thanks, I'll be sure to mention it. Turns out I forgot to mention something very important. Remember how I always call kickoff a Mickey Mouse format? Well, this year, it's slightly better. In more important news, this is the upper finals. A best-of-5 series to find out who will win kickoff, and more importantly, earn the right to represent Pacific at VCT Masters Santiago as the first seed. And look who we're playing next. And as you know, Nongshim beats Indonesians, it's what they do. I would love to tell you it's a clean sweep, Ram Yun easily clears Indomie 3-0. But it's definitely a labored affair. Our RQ 14-12 on Corrode. Nongshim 13-8 on Bind. Again Nongshim 13-5 on Haven. Championship and qualification point. But it's our RQ clawing back Abyss 13-11. But one team is running out of noodles.
Okay, wait, Francis, brother, calm down. We're streaming? Are the lights going on?
With a massive poke.
Are the lights going on? The lights are going on. It's lighting up purple. Who's doing it? It's RB. It's Extras. It's Ivy. We're freaking going to Santiago. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Holy crap. We're freaking. Let's freaking go. What did I remind you, chat? What does Nongshim do? What does Nongshim RedForce do? We beat Indonesians. That's what we do.
After a generational 11-1 start to breeze, our RQ are unable to keep the comeback going, and Nongshim win 3-2. It's happened, Nongshim have won kickoff and are going to their first ever international event. For RB, it's the return to the international stage for the first time since 2023. For X-Ross, it's the reward for grinding it out in Tier 2 and sticking with Nongshim. For Dambi, Francis, and Ivy, it's the power of friendship from Premier to the global stage. You might have noticed a new character there. That's the secret sauce per se to the success of Nongshim. That's William Chobra Cho, a caster and desk talent for various esports, the last remaining defender of HOTS, and most importantly, co-streamer for Nongshim. But there's one other thing Chobra is known for. The Chobra Curse.
We got Chobra. Chobra. RRQ believer for 4, maybe 4.5 years. The best they ever achieved with him believing is his #1 team, 56th. And now he goes to another team, Nongshim, and RRQ get first. He's going to spend the whole episode pretending that he doesn't have a curse, when obviously it's so blatant. Out of all the streamers, including me, he has probably the biggest curse of all.
Wouldn't one of your worries be that if they fail a little bit in kickoff, that he starts his classic like rotating door?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Literally, there's only 2 things that DRX has to watch out for. One is don't bench Bane. You don't bench Bane, you're guaranteed top 4. Now you want to move up higher than top 4? Flashback, don't bench yourself. And then if he doesn't bench himself, then they're moving up to top 3 or higher every tournament. That's all it is. You just avoid that, and then they'll be fine.
Perhaps the Chobra Curse is starting to turn into a Chobra Blessing. But there's no time to think about that. We have a flight to catch. We're headed to Santiago, baby. As the first seed of Pacific, Nongshim have an automatic bye to playoffs, and the privilege of picking the team they play in the first round of playoffs from the group stage teams. Of the 3 other first seed teams, Nongshim get the luck of the draw and pick first. They select EMEA upstart team Gentle Mates. At the end of the draw, the bracket looks like this. With perennial American team G2 on their side of the bracket and fellow Pacific team PRX plus champs 2025 winners NRG both on the other side. First up is Gentle Mates with a mostly revamped roster from 2025. I won't get into the happenings with the partnership here, but just know that the only remaining player is Mini. M8 also have IGL Starkso, one of the members of the 2021 champs winning Ascend team, Glyph and Bipo, 2 rookies to Tier 1, and the Star Martine, who right before this tournament broke the global Bo 5 kill record twice in back-to-back series. Haven is the opening map, and despite a server top frag from Martine, it isn't enough as Nongshim take it 13-10. But the duelists of Nongshim take over Corrode with Dambi taking 7 kills in the final 3 rounds and Francis top fragging to close the map 13-10 and the series 2-0. Nongshim then match up against perennial international presence G2. G2 are always a threat and favored to win any event they step into, but there's something different about this G2. They have an UNC of their own. Former Overwatch tank and the Smeeg himself, Baby Bay. The first map is Abyss, and Nongshim's woes on this map continue to fall like G2 on an eco as Nongshim mark their third loss on Abyss in a row 7-13. But Nongshim fire back with an equally decisive 13-7 win on Corrode and send us to Split Decider. It's a close affair with both teams only able to take 4 rounds on the offense, sending us into overtime. Round 25, Nongshim are back on defense. And they have a set strat. They know Leaf likes to put up this Viper wall, so they use it to their advantage. Francis flashes to catch anyone to might have crossed, or if the wall isn't immediately activated. RB teleports across, and Damby slides in to follow up the flash. X-Ross sends his Haunt above the roof, and it scans Leaf. Trent reacts and throws his C's to try and stop this calculated aggression. But RB sends his Paranoia and blinds Trent. Damby sends his stun on Leaf, and RB capitalizes. Francis sends his clone, since they know Trent is also here. Damby finds Trent trying to trade from Sewer, and it's a 5v3 for Nongshim. But look on the other side, the main force of G2 are running it down B. Jogamo stuns Ivy, and Baby Bay takes his head off. Francis takes out Jogamo, who is a bit too far ahead of the Waylay Saturate. Valen tries to take a timing in mid, but loses to RB. It's Baby Bay left alone in a 1v4, and with a spike still waiting to be planted, then eventually found and killed. G2 take a timeout, it's do or die. Round 26. Now it's Nongshim are setting the tempo on the offense. For the first time since round 10, where Nongshim were on the defense, Francis has an AWP. Perhaps not expecting the slow contact, Baby Bay get picked off by Francis from a main. Trent opts to play retake with the rest of the team and Nongshim plant for back corner. Francis tries to push the advantage into CT, but get caught by Leaf. G2 are forced to spend a ton of utility clearing right outside of CT, as Jogamo throws his Neon wall up to cut off the site and let G2 start the flood. But using Neon versus the Neon, Goat won't get you far as Damby is able to use G2's Neon wall to his advantage and isolate a kill, and then take 2 more. Trent is left alone, but with Zross saving his utility during his lurk up mid is able to delay Trent enough, and ends the map 14-12 and the series 2-1.
To ask of anyone, and it's not gonna happen! Nongshim! It took a long time to get here!
Nongshim are now in the winners' finals of Masters Santiago, but awaiting them there would be their greatest challenge yet. NRG, the reigning Valorant World Champions, are looking to secure back-to-back international trophies and cement their legacy. To get here, they took down XLG, BBL, Liquid, and their revenge against PRX. The veto comes and it's Bind and Abyss. Well, at least we have Haven as a decider. On Bind, Nongshim take the halftime lead at 7-5, and it's Francis over and over again with the sniper rifles, taking 12 kills across the map with an AWP 1v2 clutch to win the bonus. NRG can't seem to get started on the defense once their bonus comes, and are only able to secure 2 more rounds before Nongshim close map 113-9. Next up, Abyss. Yeah, we all know this is just going to be a go get some food map. It's going to be a wash. Wait a second. NRG are the ones getting washed. Nongshim go up 9-3 on their offense. But then they lose the pistol and the eco. But then they win the first gun round. And then they lose versus a half-buy. They're able to reach match point by round 19, but then NRG start to show why they're the world champions. 12-8, 12-9, 12-10, 12-11. Oh my god, it's coming down to the final round of regulation. After a bit of posturing from Nongshim and some strong defaulting from NRG execute onto an empty B site. With Nongshim being very worried about mid and A, Spike is planted back site, and NRG have a ton of post-plant utility left. Both T-Ho missiles, a shock and a recon dart, Sova ultimate, Waylay ultimate, and a paranoia. But it's a 5v5 retake, anything is possible. Nongshim have strong retake utility of their own, Yoru ultimate, Cypher ultimate, Waylay full kit plus ultimate, Sova recon and drone, a paranoia, and the most important piece of it all, Francis with an AWP. It's chaos as Nongshim try to crunch the post-plant agents for mid. It's a 3v3. Francis finds Brock. Keiko and Mata are getting sandwiched on site. Francis and X Ross combine to find the remaining kills as RB sticks the defuse. Does he have it?
Meteoric rise! The time! Oh, they've got it!
0.81 seconds separate Nongshim going to the Grand Finals, and NRG turning this game around. They've made it to the Grand Finals from the winner's bracket. A double map ban advantage in the veto will be crucial for whoever they match up in the Grand Finals. It's the Grand Finals of VCT Masters Santiago. From the winner's bracket, it's Nongshim RedForce, an underdog team on a run with a core of friends, a rookie, and a veteran. And from the depths of the loser's bracket, it's PRX, the winners of Masters Toronto and one of the frontrunners for greatest Valorant team of all time. Will the W Gaming train smash through the Great Noodle Wall, or will the Slurpers send the dinosaurs to extinction? Nongshim banned 2 of PRX's favorite maps, Pearl and Breeze. The finals opens up with Corrode, a strong map for both teams. It's a messy affair as Nongshim can only push their offense for 4 rounds. Although they were able to get plants in 6 out of the 12 rounds, they were only able to win 1 post-plant. Moving on to the defense, Nongshim are able to deny the plant on pistol as Ross holds down the site with 3 kills. They convert the anti-eco but lose out on their bonus. It's now 6-9 as we head into the first gun round for Nongshim's defense. And what's this? Francis is back on his signature AWP getting first blood onto a lurking Forsaken, and Nongshim only giving up 2 deaths to win the round. It's 7-9. Nongshim continue the winning streak until we get to round 20, where PRX stop the bleeding and keep it tied at 10-all. Now it's round 21, and both teams have a full bye, and it's now the rookie X Ross joining Francis, both getting double kills to win the round and force PRX on a half bye. Wait, it's PRX when they're cornered. PRX win their force bye and keep it even 11-11. It's round 23. Whoever wins this reaches map point and at least guarantees overtime should they lose the next, and the Exasook gets messy as both teams find kills here, there, and everywhere. But Ivy and X-Ross are able to secure map point for Nongshim. I wish I could say this final round of regulation is exciting, but Nongshim are too clean with it. Danby gets a 2K with a judge. The rest of the team clean it up to a 1v5 with Davai left alone. David is able to get 3 kills, but it's too much as Nongshim take the opening map of the finals. I want to talk about Split. It's a genuinely strong game plan from Nongshim, with Ivy on the Viper leading the charge for Nongshim, even with Forsaken going band for band, as both of them top the server with 290 and 296 ACS respectively. But sadly, something was doing his best Oxy impression as Nongshim reached championship point 13-4 on Split. Map 3 is Abyss, a very interesting map in the context of the 2 teams. In the 3 games of Abyss Nongshim played before this, they had a 45% round win rate, and the only time they won was a miracle 13-11 win over NRG, the team that choked a 12-1 lead versus Fnatic last year on this very map. But PRX don't really play this map also. According to runitback.gg, this would be their 3rd ever official game on Abyss, with a 10-13 loss at last year's kickoff to DFM, and a win during Pacific Stage 213-7 against DRX in 2024. This is going to be absolute glue. Nongshim are starting on the defense and easily take the pistol and the anti-eco, but lose their bonus. They win the first gun round, and then the next 6 rounds in a row, only allowing PRX to plant the spike once in that span of 6 rounds. PRX are able to salvage 1 more round to stop the bleeding, before immediately losing the last round of the half. Nongshim are up 10-2 moving to their attack side. This is their best chance to stop PRX now before they are able to restart the train engine and use the momentum to reverse sweep. Forsaken lurks down mid and is able to catch Ivy on a timing. With not much real pressure being made from their default in A main, Nongshim pivot to a hit on B site, but Francis is a bit behind on the rotation through mid and is taken out by Forsaken. It's a 3v5, but Nongshim know that there are 2 people top mid coming from A, so Nongshim speed up onto B and plant the spike. Davai catches Danby as the heaven smoke fades. X Ross is good for 2, but dies along with RB and PRX defuse and win the pistol. This is how a comeback starts. But Nongshim win the eco round and break PRX's economy. PRX can't win round 15 with this desperate force bye. And it's now championship point for Nongshim. In the final moments of the game, PRX scramble for a mid-fight, but end up going 1-for-1 as Ivy takes out NV, but gets traded out by Gene. Nongshim go in for the kill as they execute on to an empty A site. It goes flawlessly as the dinosaurs fall one by one. The last man left standing is again forsaken. IGL of PRX, Masters Toronto MVP, an agent pool deeper than the depths of abyss, the master of chaos. He's bruised, battered, and blinded as he falls to the noodles. 13-3. Nongshim RedForce have won VCT Masters Santiago with a 3-0 sweep in the grand finals. They are the first Ascension and first Premier team to win an international title, only dropping one map the entire tournament, beating the best teams the world has to offer. As they raise the trophy and the confetti falls, it's time to award an MVP. With the third highest ACS at 237 and tied for the second highest first kills per round at 0.2 across the tournament. Damby joins a pantheon of greatness as he is awarded the MVP honors of Masters Santiago. But he's not the only player on the team, is he? What would a star be without the supporting cast around him? And that cast started with his two best friends who have been with him since the beginning. Francis and Ivy. The three of them, along with Persia and Margaret, as friends playing in Premier, then making it to Ascension, all the way to the main VCT League, are finally rewarded for the dedication to the grind with a trophy. Ross, the talented young star, losing to the very same core in Challengers Korea, having to sit from the sidelines and watch they win Ascension. Then a fateful chance as they now join forces, but still forced to sit on the sidelines due to being underage. Learning an entirely new role, and in his first ever split in Tier 1 Valorant, wins a trophy. Chobra, the streamer and talent known infamously for being the most cursed personality. After 4 years with RRQ, he leaves to join Nongshim, and immediately after RRQ win a trophy in Pacific. He totally didn't curse DRX and Flashback. And now, heartbreak after heartbreak, Chobra is vindicated from the curse that haunts his soul and everything he touches. Last but not least, at the center of it all, RB. Years and years of perseverance. Vision Strikers and DRX ran Asian Valorant pre-franchising, but never could make an international final, being discarded by DRX after a disappointing 2023. Learning in a new environment on Titan in China, and now stepping into the role of an IGL for the first time with Nongshim. Powered by the determination, the ingenuity, the magic. The final kill comes from none other than RB. He closes out the tournament with a scoreline of 6-7.